We welcome you live to the IndyCar iRacing FedEx Series Season number 4 race at the Daytona Road Course. It is officially time for the IndyCar Series to get underway. This is a brand new series in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League, and it's the first time we'll be running the Daytona Road Course during Speedweeks. We are here once again as the first race of Daytona Speedweeks, and welcome in live to the World Center of Racing. So IndyCar is going to be on the racetrack here tonight. It's going to be a 30-lap event from Daytona. As Speedweeks continues here on this Wednesday night, we just wrapped up Cup Series practice. Matthew White was top of the board there. And now we're going to be heading to the IndyCar Series at Daytona for the final race, our final event of Wednesday night during Daytona Speedweeks. It's going to be under the lights at the road course. This is the IndyCar Series from Daytona. All right, welcome live to the World Center Racing, the Daytona International Speedway. Cars are on track for the 15-minute warm-up session. Into turns number 1 and 2, and down the back straightaway goes Cole Clausen in the 5. As he
Ethan,
goes down.
how much push to pass do we have?
Good question.
Oh, if it's unlimited, we have the VFBs in that.
I think it's unlimited because fun.
Every straightaway.
But anyways, as we get back live action here from the Daytona Road Course, this is the IndyCar iRacing FedEx Series from Daytona. As into the back straightaway chicane goes one of those cars that's 74. That is John Butler. John Butler heads down the front straightaway. All right. So once again, you got a 15-minute warm-up session before we go into the, of course, the 10-minute qualifying. Down the back straightaway goes the 3. I believe this is Matthew White. And back up onto the high bank. So as Matthew White heads his way through turns number 3 and 4, let's take a ride around the Daytona International Speedway in this IndyCar. So of course you don't have the front straightaway chicane here in IndyCar. He's gonna head down the front straightaway. And we'll take a look at it real quick. Only 192 without the draft. Into turn number 1, hard on the brakes. On the gas goes White. He gets sideways. Nearly has to make a correction. Into the International Horseshoe he goes. Once again, he is loose. Back on the gas goes Matthew White. Almost trying to hold it wide open, still sliding around in that number 3. Back on to the high banks he goes. Through NASCAR 1 and 2. And down the back straightaway. Into the hard braking of the final chicane. You got to get a great exit here because it's all going to matter. He gets loose. He's going to try to be on the gas. Not the greatest exit that he would have wanted as he's now on the push to pass. Push to pass is going to be crazy here. The draft down this front straightaway. So if we have a close battle for the lead on the final lap coming out of the back straightaway chicane, you're going to be able to get a crazy run heading down the front straightaway as White once again heads down to 1 and 2. All right, back here live in Daytona. Bryce Benton so far top of the board. As Cole Wilson here to the outside of Matthew White, trying to go side by side. They will go side by side, but Cole Wilson's getting run off the track. You really can't go side by side through there. And Cole Wilson takes a hard shot into the wall. Here's the 91 of Ryan Davis. So, of course, this is the first ever race for the IndyCar iRacing FedEx Series here in Daytona during Speedweeks. Bit of a bobble there for that Arrow McLaren. There is the 5 of Cole Clausen in his Culver's machine. Cole Clausen, of course, running all Culver's machines this week here in Daytona. Got his Culver's Cup car, Culver's Xfinity car, Culver's truck, Culver's ARCA car, and, of course, his Culver's IndyCar.
Yes, sir.
In the wall. Coming off pit road is the 12. So, haven't really seen that in a while. Here's the 9 of Bryce Benton. He's currently top of the board. As he heads down into NASCAR 1 and 2 and onto the back straightaway. All right, guys, so about halfway through practice as Cameron Chandler goes for his spin here on the backstretch. About halfway through practice, what does it feel like on the racetrack so far here at Daytona under the lights with these Indy cars?
Yeah, I definitely wish it was a little bit faster, but you know, it kind of gets out underneath from you on the exit of these corners, so we're gonna have to be a little bit careful with that. So, but gonna be a really fun race.
Yeah, it's feeling a little sketchy out of some of these corners. Very easy to loop the car, and we don't want to be doing that here.
Going to be important to get some heat into these tires here tonight. As we have 8 minutes to go in the warm-up session. Down the back straightaway goes that number 12. That is Nathaniel Roberts. Up to the outside is that 3 machine. That is Matthew White. Across the line he goes, trying to go top of the board once again. And he will stay second. Down the back straightaway goes Cameron Chandler. Gets to put down a time. He's been pretty successful in the IndyCar races during the lobbies events we've had with this race car, but they were all at ovals. As Chandler heads down the front straightaway here from the World Center of Racing. Here in the turn number 1. It's almost going around is that machine. And you got the 51. That is John Butler heading onto the back straightaway. Sorry, the 74 of John Butler. All right, so 7 minutes to go. Of course, everybody just trying to get the feel under them with their race car. Cole Wilson goes to second on the board, right behind Bryce Benton. Probably can put down a couple of qualifying push laps here for practice. Matthew White now goes back to second. Still Bryce Benton top of the board. So that number 9 machine is looking very, very strong for Team Chevy Motor Club. And with Bryce Benton in the cockpit. Here's the 5 of Cole Clausen ahead of that number 22 of Cole Wilson. Back up onto the high banks they go here in Daytona. Here's the 18 of Maddox Beard on the racetrack now. As he heads down this front straightaway. And into turns number 1 and 2. Here's the 5. And you got Cameron Chandler and Matthew White starting to race together. Of course, Chandler currently 6th on the board. Matthew White currently 2nd. White trying to charge the rear bumper, but he's going to get around. Spinning is Matthew White. And he'll actually go for a full 360 and get back going in the right direction with 5 minutes to go here in practice. All right. So top 10 so far. Bryce Benton, Matthew White, Cole Wilson, Connor Asbell, Richard Cherry, your top 5. Chandler, Miller, Clausen, Youngblood, or Roberts, your top 10. So, of course, it's the only road course event of Speedweeks, and it's the 30-lap IndyCar Series race. It's the 5th series in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League now. Behind, of course, the Cup Series number 1, Xfinity number 2, Trucks number 3, and ARCA number 4. And back on to 3 and 4 is that number 5 machine, as Maddox Beard goes to 9th on the board. Across the line goes that number 5. I believe that is actually Ashton Miller. All right, so about 3 minutes to go here in practice from Daytona. Still gets to put down the time is John Butler. There he is currently in the 74, sitting on pit road. And to turn number 1 is Cole Wilson in the 22. All right. Still just getting started here with practice. So, of course, qualifying going to be open qualifying as always for road courses. Doesn't matter what the series is. It'll always be open qualifying for 10 minutes. And that's going to be for the pole. Then we'll have a 30-lap event from the Daytona road course. With also the choose cone being implemented, you also get unlimited push-to-pass in this race. Don't expect many pit stops. Well, I mean, you might expect maybe 1 pit stop today, but that should just be about it, probably for fuel and tires if they need them. This is the first race of Daytona Speedweeks officially. First of 5. Of course, tomorrow night is Xfinity Series' final practice for their Daytona race on Friday for their season opener. And then the ARCA Series race from the World Center of Racing, High Banks, here at Daytona. Of course, like we mentioned earlier in Cup Series practice, that'll be broadcasted by Richard Cherry and Connor Asbell. Of course, I am not going to be in the booth that night. So Cherry and Asbell are going to take you along throughout the ARCA Series, as spinning around is Cole Wilson with 1:43 to go. And of course, like we mentioned earlier, that ARCA Series race is going to be a combination race with the IndyCar Pro Series. So points will be awarded for IndyCar in that once again, and then of course for FedEx, it is just a one-race series. So of course, Cup Series, Xfinity, they're both full seasons, obviously. Truck Series, you have that 5-race challenge up from the Triple Truck Trophy from the last 2 seasons. And of course, in the ARCA Series and the IndyCar Series, just one-race series. So technically, whoever wins tonight and whoever wins tomorrow night in IndyCar and ARCA are going to be your series champions. I know Payson Lindsay still has Season 3 ARCA champion in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League in his Twitter bio for whatever reason, even though it was only one race. But nice try, Payson Lindsay.
Let Payson Lindsay feel special.
Yeah. He also won the truck title, if you remember from last. Oh my God, we have a terrible crash. Upside down is the 10. That is Ashton Miller. I haven't seen Cole Clausen go for a ride just yet. I'm kind of disappointed.
Wait until qualifying.
Oh no. Some laps might be disrupted.
Ooh, wrecking ahead of him is Matthew
Ooh.
White.
Benton improves on his lap.
Yeah, Bryce Benton, as Cole Wilson is now top of the board. Bryce Benton currently in second, barely off of him, less than half a tenth. These two are definitely looking like the fastest in the field. Cherry, as they come to the checkered flag here in practice. Cherry third, not too far back. Matthew White currently fourth. As we finish up here in practice, qualifying coming up. It's 10 minutes open, as always, for the road courses. And here we go. Qualifying for the...
With it being open qualifying, you probably want to get out on track as soon as possible. As you see Clausen and Miller doing right away.
It's the IndyCar iRacing FedEx Series open qualifying for the Daytona road course race here in Season 4. Green flag.
Again, no push or pass available in this qualifying session.
Oh.
In the wall hard is Cole Clausen as he's coming out first
Chandler
on
follows him.
On cold tires. Cameron Chandler into the grass as well. So that's something that's very commonly done here in Daytona off pit road. And you got to be careful of that, especially if you're coming off pit road during a race during green flag pit stops. If we even get any of those tonight.
We will have to use. We will have to have a green flag pit stop because we only have 15 laps of fuel.
We'll see how the cautions fall though to see if that actually plays out.
But a pit stop will have to be made.
Yeah, so you can make it on another tank of. It's gonna be close, but you can probably make it on one pit stop.
Might need fuel saving. There are different entry maps in this car, so you might see some drivers go into entry map 3 or 4 to save a little gas.
Sorry about that. We're back live here in Daytona, ready for push laps as they head down into NASCAR 3 and 4 and down the front straightaway. The 5 will move out of the way for Cole Wilson, who was top. Oh, contact! Wilson spins here in qualifying. Around goes that number 12. As that was definitely interesting. Not exactly what Cole Wilson would have wanted there. As down the back straightaway goes Ashton Miller. You also got the 18 of Maddox. Oh, hard in the wall. That's Cole Clausen. He takes a shot. So no one over the line just yet. In the wall now is Cole Wilson again. And I believe that's coming off pit road, so he's got to start to improve some of that. I've seen a couple of drivers do that as well. There's the 9 of Bryce Benton. So, of course, it's a relatively short-sounding race, but 30 laps here at the Daytona road course, especially here tonight, not knowing how the cautions are going to fall, could take a bit. We don't have any halfway break, of course, so there's no guaranteed cautions. And it's a road course, so, of course, caution's not as strict. Cole Wilson back on the racetrack.
And Cole Clausen is down hard. Oh, my goodness.
And there he is around. Let's take a look real quick at what happened. Get that number 5 machine with the destroyed race car. Oh, okay. Oh, wow. Oh, my. As Matthew White, as you can see, goes top of the board. Bryce Benton barely in second. So that's... Oh, Matthew White's in the wall, so he's not going to be able to get a second push lap in here on these tires. Butler goes third. As it's currently White, Benton, now Cherry, Beard, Butler, your top 5. This track is getting crowded here. Especially, in the International Horseshoe as Matthew White goes around. Cameron Chandler. He's through the grass. He's currently yet to put down a time. John Butler in the 74 here. Of course, yellow means qualifying with the time session. Green means practice on the ticker. I know it looks like the caution's out, but it's not. That was out. Caution was out. It would be red, even though you can't put out cautions in qualifying and practice. Here's Cole Wilson back onto the high banks in 1 and 2 and heading down the back straightaway yet again. Oh, in the wall slightly is that 5. And there's the 18 of Maddox Beard, currently 4th. So 4 minutes and 20 seconds to go here in qualifying. You got to get on the track if you haven't been already. You got to put down some times. If you want a chance at having some good momentum tonight. Wyatt Youngman slots in 7th place. But it is still the 6th of Matthew White, top of the board. He entered after finishing 4th in practice. Down the front straightaway goes that 5 of Cole Clausen. Currently yet to put down a time. And it'll stay like that for now.
Look at how close that top 3 is. Matthew White, Bryce Benton, and Cole Wilson all have done a 130.3.
I mean, that is as close, basically, as close as you can get here in qualifying between the top 3, realistically. It's down into the chicane. One car getting sideways and going around. That is the 37. I think that is
one of the reasons that the laps are looking a lot slower here than they were in practice because there's no pusher path available. We were seeing 120, low 129s practice, and now we're seeing low 130s.
Oh, trouble! Spinning is that number 12. That is Nathaniel Roberts. Here's Cole Clausen. And there's Wyatt Youngblood. Here's Cameron Chandler entering the track. Once again, he's currently 5th on the board. He did put down a time, but he's definitely way down on Cherry, Wilson, Benson, and White. Here's Matthew White. Down the back straightaway. I believe this is a push lap. 2 minutes and 25 seconds to go. Up the racetrack he goes. I don't think this is push lap then. I think he's coming to probably his final lap. I had to imagine. There is Cole Wilson getting a tow. Down. Benson goes top of the board. Cole Wilson pulls out. He is currently 3rd. Cherry improves to 4th. And he improves his lap time. Who's spinning is the 5. And there's Maddox Beard going for a slide. Minute and 45 to go. Starting to put down your final qualifying laps as Bryce Benton currently on provisional pole. It was this man, Cole Wilson, on fastest in practice. He took that late. Let's see if he can take fastest in qualifying late as well. Out of the infield road course section goes Wilson. Got to be hard on the gas as he comes back up into NASCAR 1 and 2. Upside down, one car. I believe that was Asbel or Davis. Minutes to go, heading down the back straightaway for Cole Wilson. He does not have a tow, so that will most likely affect him a little bit sideways down into the final chicane. Got to get a good exit, back on the gas, looked okay. Through NASCAR 3 and 4. And once again, heading down the front straightaway for the 22 of Cole Wilson. To the line, he is gonna go. Currently 3rd, he's got one more lap to possibly do it if he doesn't improve here. He does not improve. And he does improve, actually. Didn't see that first. Top of the board, Cole Wilson. And upside down is one car. So to the top by 0.2 of a second. Here is Matthew White. One final push lap for him. Same thing with Atlanta Bryce Benton. He's currently 2nd. Oh! Big moment for Bryce Benton off corner exit. That's going to hurt his time. Here is Matthew White, checkered flag in the air for qualifying, but you will be able to finish your lap if you started it. I don't... Kohler, you want to push?
No, just go.
Okay. Matthew White through 1 and 2 for the final time here in qualifying. Down the back straightaway, chicane for Cameron Chandler. I believe Bryce Benton has retired from his lap. See what Cameron Chandler can do. Currently 5th. Down the front stretch one final time here in quali. Through the grass a bit. Oh, across the line. See when it updates. Chandler does not improve his time. To the line goes Matthew White.
He does not improve.
Yeah, Matthew White will stay 3rd. And across the line goes that 12, Nathaniel Roberts. Decent effort, qualifies in 7th. Maddox Beard actually qualifies in 6th. He improves one spot up from Cole Clausen. Maddox Beard, from the looks of it, will qualify P8. And that'll do it. Cole Wilson on pole at the Daytona road course for the IndyCar Series. He takes pole position by 0.2 of a second. Surprisingly large after what we saw between the top 3, Wilson, Benton, and White. I think those are going to be your 3 to beat. Cherry you can throw in there, possibly Cameron Chandler. Nathaniel Roberts looked pretty decent as well. Maybe if they somehow get together, you got Ashton Miller, Connor Aswell starting deep in the field. John Butler, Maddox Beard could be some underdogs.
One thing to know about this track is there's 2 very long straightaways. So as long as you're decent enough to keep up in the infield and through the bus stop, there's a long straightaway. So I think we're going to see a lot of pack racing today and possibly some good battling.
Yeah, it's going to be also close racing, and gonna have to be careful here tonight in Daytona to avoid accidents.
By the
All
way,
right.
Ethan, we have 200 seconds of push to pass, so
All right.
we're gonna have to use that one wisely and not burn it up at the beginning.
Yeah, the drivers are gonna have to be careful with that. So, Cole, you're Cole Wilson. There's 2 Coles in the booth. Cole Wilson, you're starting on pole. Great qualifying lap there at the end. What do you think you guys can do? Do you guys think you can take home the checkered flag here tonight?
Yeah, I definitely think it's possible, but just got to stay out of trouble and get a good start. I don't think we're going to keep the lead as soon as we get onto the banking, but just trying to stay up front and hopefully cross the line first.
All right, as they roll off of pit road here at Daytona, so of course choose rule will not be in effect for the start of the race, but it will be in effect for all restarts.
How are we doing choose, like start, finish on?
No, it's the back straightaway chicane. Or
Oh,
right
okay.
before the back straightaway chicane. All right. Through 1 and 2, or 3 and 4 they go here for the IndyCar series. So this series replaced the SRX series. Definitely looks like a whole lot better turnaround than we had in SRX last season. We didn't really talk about that race. What are we doing? How? Just how, honestly, how?
Typical Wyatt Youngblood there.
As Youngblood goes around, not really sure how that's possible under caution flag conditions before the race even gets underway. All right, here we go. IndyCar Series in Daytona. It is the first race of Daytona Speedweeks. Cole Wilson, Bryce Benson on the front row. The first ever FedEx IndyCar Series race is underway in Daytona. Into turn number 1 they go. Side by side for second as Cole Wilson gets away. It's Matthew White and Bryce Benton. Door to door they go. Can't go side by side. White will clear Benton currently. It's Wilson with the lead. 4th place. There's Cameron Chandler to the inside. It's the 12 of Nathaniel Roberts. We've got one car going off. Believe that is Wyatt Youngblood again. He's hard into the barrier. And that number 27 car is destroyed on lap 1. Back up at the front of the field, you got Cameron Chandler with that number 12 car, Nathaniel Roberts, on his bumper. He got back around him, so Cameron Chandler currently running in 4th place. Then he got the 9 of Benton falling, or I'm sorry, the 10 of Cherry falling back early, back to P6. Ahead of him is that number 8 of Cameron Chandler. Back up into NASCAR 1 and 2. They go for the first time. Already kind of spread out. Your leader here, Cole Wilson, but Matthew White's going to have a run down this back straightaway. You can see him closing the gap. Wilson tries to break the draft. Down this back straightaway they go. We'll see where they use those 200 seconds of push to pass that they get in this race. Top 3 separated by about 1.5 seconds for all of them, about 7/10 between each of them. 4th place there, Cameron Chandler. 5th place now, Richard Cherry getting around Nathaniel Roberts. Currently running in 7th is Maddox Spears as they come to the line to complete lap number 1 here in Daytona. It'll be your leader, Cole Wilson, at the line, who started on pole. He will lead lap number 1 in Daytona. Matthew White now is starting to have the pressure on his back bumper. There is Bryce Benton. They get down into the International Horseshoe once again. Oh, there is Cole Wilson going wide. That'll allow Matthew White to get to his rear bumper. White is there. Where's he going to go? He's on his bumper. He's looking outside. Wilson blocks. Moves over to take that inside lane away. That's going to push him up the racetrack slightly, but Matthew White had an issue getting through that corner. Now he's going to be a little bit further back as Bryce Benton's on his bumper. As they head back up into the high banks. Early retirement already is, I believe, Connor Aswell. He did not start the race as they are all connected here down the back straightaway trying to break the draft is Cole Wilson, but he's got Matthew White down to his inside. He's able to block. Into the back straightaway chicane they go once again. You got through the grass a bit is Cameron Chandler. He'll be back on to the track. Currently running in 5th now is Richard Cherry. Top 3 all separated now by about 0.3 of a second. We expected a good race between these three all day long. And here comes Bryce Benton round the outside of Matthew White, now around the outside of Cole Wilson. Battle for the lead coming to lap 3. Side by side into one. Who lifts first? Benton around the outside lane. Wilson sends it down in deep. He'll slide up the racetrack. That'll allow Benton to his bumper. He's now looking outside, trying to look inside. Back outside for Benton. Wilson able to hold on to the lead currently, but Benton and White both on his tail. You just saw the run Bryce Benton got down that front straightaway. That's the power of the draft, and possibly even some push the pass for Bryce Benton. Oh, Matthew White goes wide slightly. As they all head out of the infield road course section once again, back up onto the high banks. Currently on lap 3 in Daytona. Cole Wilson has led all the laps so far. As they head down the back straightaway once again, he'll move to the outside lane, but Benton's on his bumper. Not going to make the move down into the chicane for Bryce Benton. They all stay single file once again, back up into the high banks. Oh, but Benton moves down. It looks like Wilson actually going to let them both go.
I got a slowdown penalty.
Oh. And that'll give the lead to Bryce Benton, but here down the front straightaway, Matthew White's got to run. He'll pull to the outside lane, trying to take the lead here in lap 4. It'll be the first lap not led by Cole Wilson. It'll be now led by Bryce Benton. Oh, Matthew White kind of hit the wall there as they come to lap 4 here in Daytona.
All three of us on this red tire, it's going to start to fall off. So if anyone's on the black primary set, which I don't think anyone is, they will have the advantage after about lap 10.
So we also expect a pit stop around lap maybe 13 to 14 if there aren't any caution flags. Now you got Cole Wilson, who had, of course, that slowdown penalty. He gets loose, a big bubble out of that 22. Wilson all over the rear bumper of that 3 of Matthew White. Matthew White also starting to slide around, and now it's allowing about a 0.6 of a second gap for the number 9 of Bryce Benton. Toe is going to be crucial here for Matthew White and Cole Wilson down this back straightaway. White almost looks outside of Wilson. Sorry, the other way around. As they run through here, Cameron Chandler has fallen off the end of the field. I believe he had a slowdown penalty or maybe an issue or something. He's currently running in 10th. We can continue to watch the battle for the lead. Benton currently has it. Matthew White with a run down this front straightaway. Benton moves over to try to break the draft.
Benton going below the apron is very risky because when he comes back up, your car gets very light and loose. So we got to watch as the run goes on if he's able to keep that car straight by going under there.
Yeah, Bryce Benton. Now here's Cole Wilson to the inside of Matthew White for second place. An aggressive move. Oh, and White slides around again. He will be able to save it. Cole Wilson will take over second place. And he'll go set his eyes on that number 9 of Bryce Benton, his teammate. Benton makes a big arch down into that corner as they head down to the straightaway once again, coming back up into the high banks. Ooh, Wilson goes wide slightly. And he'll lose momentum off quarter exit. Now have Matthew White back on his bumper. And this is good for Bryce Benton, about an 0.8 of a second lead as they head down into 1 and 2. Chandler's starting to make up spots up the P8. White on the bumper. Wilson don't expect to move into the chicane this early in the race. Then through here, you got Cherry currently running in 4th. He's kind of about 4 seconds behind. Nathaniel Roberts currently P5. Maddox Beard currently P6. Currently P7, that number 5 of Ashton Miller. And then you got others up there as well. Bryce Benton currently with the lead. But Cole Wilson going to absolutely send it down in there in turn number 1. Into the International Horseshoe they go yet again. So Bryce Benton starting off Speedweeks very strong. He was pretty decent in practice for both Cup and Xfinity. Or actually just ran Cup practice. And started top 3 here in the IndyCar Series race, and currently leading here on lap 6. He also had a great clash. The Monza Oval led the most laps. Unfortunately, came up just short. It's a bit of a bobble there, but he's honestly keeping a pretty decent gap over Cole Wilson. Cherry is starting to kind of close the gap down to 3.8 seconds, so don't look now, but Richard Cherry could be in position, but they probably, I would assume, starting to do a bit of fuel saving up front. Because it's going to be close, especially with just one pit stop. Caution free so far here in Daytona. Coming to lap 7. Oh, big loose moment for the 9 of Bryce Benton. It looked like he was getting sideways. Cole Wilson slightly closes up, but it didn't really matter much. Now Cole Wilson's got the 3 of Matthew White all over his tail. Oh, big slide for Cole Wilson. And that'll allow Matthew White into second place. They're side by side. I expect Cole Wilson to give it up. He will. That's a big mistake by the driver of the 22. Now he's got Matthew White ahead of him. And they're starting to allow Bryce Benton to pull away about a second now, as Cherry is closed up to 2.8 seconds behind. Been running the fastest laps on the racetrack. Got some lap traffic now.
Cherry's here now. 7 tenths back from me. He'll have mega draft down the straightaway.
Yeah, so Cole Wilson's looking like he's starting to struggle here. 7 laps in as Ryan Davis moves out of the way. He's going to go 1 lap down. Oh, what is... Okay. So they head down into the bus stop once again. Top 4 currently separated by about 2.2 seconds. So White's starting to close the gap to Benton. He's got a bit of a toe down this front straightaway. Down to about 7/10 of a second. Will not be close enough to try to make a move down into turn number 1. But slowly into turn 1 goes the 9 of Benton. Then you got the 3 of Matthew White, currently in second, currently third. The 22 of Cole Wilson, and waiting in the wings is that 10 of Richard Cherry. And now he's in the bumper of Cole Wilson, trying to make a move. He started off this race not with the fastest car, but now he looks like he's picked up the pace, and he is up here battling for possibly the lead. And then you got the second group of cars led by C.J. Erdman, Maddox Beard. And a couple more. Cameron Chandler currently running 8th. And in the wall is that 91 of Ryan Davis, as Cherry's gotten around Cole Wilson.
Richard Cherry is the fastest car by far, and that's because he has the black primary tires on. Those tires are going to last a lot longer than the 3 tires me, Bryce, and Matthew have on. So that's why he is putting in some solo laps right now and is probably going to take the lead.
Cherry down the back straightaway once again. Of course, like Cole mentioned, on those option tires.
Matthew White almost loses it out the bus stop.
Yeah, they're getting loose. The opposite of option tire, I'm just sorry, I think. The reds are the option tires and the blacks are the primaries. And he's got a run on Matthew White down this front straightaway for second. Cherry around the outside. They will fight down into turn number 1. Cherry should have the most grip, but he's got the outside lane. Into turn number 1 they go. Cherry around the outside. An aggressive move barely clears Matthew White. Now you got Cole Wilson going wide, nearly into the grass. And here is Cherry starting to set his eyes under leader Bryce Benton. Pit stop should be coming up shortly, so it's going to be interesting to see what tires we see your leaders put on. Will it be the reds or will it be the blacks?
I can tell you it's not going to be the reds.
Looking at if we don't get any more caution flags, the blacks obviously are going to be the tire to go. Benson's starting to struggle off corner exit, and he'll have Cherry on his bumper shortly. Down the back straightaway they go yet again. 9 laps into this Daytona road course race for the IndyCar Series. He's there. He'll have momentum heading down the front straightaway. Cherry to the bumper of Benton. He'll pull outside. Side by side for the lead here in Daytona. Richard Cherry takes the lead coming to lap 10 of the IndyCar Series race from Daytona. Benton, though, back to the inside. And they're going to race door to door down into 1. Benton has the inside advantage. He will re-clear Richard Cherry. Cherry on his bumper yet again. Benton blinks. Cherry back to the inside. This should probably do it into the International Horseshoe. They go nearly making contact. Richard Cherry will clear Bryce Benton, your new leader in Daytona. On those black primary tires. Benton not giving up, though. He's back to the bumper of Cherry. Now battling for third currently is Matthew White and Cole Wilson. As they head down the back straightaway, Benton's going to have momentum if he can keep it close down this back straightaway chicane. We'll see what he's able to do as they head out of the bus stop, the Le Mans chicane. Benton about 4/10 back. We'll see what kind of run he's able to get. He's not going to be close enough to make a dive down into turn number 1. He will also have less grip than Cherry as this run continues to wear on, coming to lap 11 here in Daytona. So we should expect pit stops pretty shortly, around lap 13 to 15. Into 1 they go. I would expect everyone to take tire. Benton, as far as getting annoying, he starts to blink. It's probably the most annoying thing in iRacing when you're trying to broadcast. Car blinks and then the camera stops moving. Ooh, it looks like Cherry nearly goes a bit wide. He's got that number 9 of Bryce Benton. So big moment for that 3 of Matthew White. He has been loose all race long, but he's honestly still keeping pace, and he's possibly looking to battle for second with Bryce Benton. And Cherry pulling away about a second this time. Benton currently in P2 and currently P3, that 3 of Matthew White. I believe Richard Cherry was the only one that put the blacks on. Another car with the blacks on is Manic Spirit here in the 18, so they are definitely the tire to go. So let's look throughout the field. Nathaniel Roberts currently running in 6th. Cameron Chandler trying to make somewhat of a comeback, currently running in 7th place. As I'll maybe have a run here on Nathaniel Roberts. Heading down this French straightaway. He's going to pull outside for P6. Side by side, Roberts and Cameron Chandler. Into turn number 1 they go. Cameron Chandler going a long way around. Nathaniel Roberts is able to re-clear him. Then you got Ashton Miller currently running in 8th. John Butler currently running in 9th. Oh, nearly contact. Chandler to the bumper of Roberts. He gets himself loose. There's John Butler waiting in the wings as well. And Ashton Miller starting to close up. Currently trying to get P7 away from Cameron Chandler. back up into the high banks they go. As we look at your leaders once again, heading down into NASCAR 3 and 4. And through 3 and 4 they go. Benton's going to have pressure. Matthew White has a run down this front straightaway once again. He'll pull outside for P2. Benton trying to cover him off. And going the long way around as Matthew White couldn't make a stick. He's going to go wide and he'll have to turn it around. And he'll lose precious time and position. Matthew White, bit too deep into one, and he has an issue. Goes wide, has to turn it straight around. And that's going to be catastrophic for his chances of the win, especially if you don't get a caution flag. Cherry currently on those black tires with about a 2.2 second lead. The perfect strategy so far. He should put the blacks on yet again. Everybody else will probably do the same. Then it'll just be even, and it'll have that good, probably 2.5 second lead once they come down pit road. Maybe even more if they can get a good pit stop. Just got to execute on pit road. So Richard Cherry has put himself in an absolutely perfect situation so far with 18 to go in Daytona. Back to the bus stop, currently running in second place is Bryce Benton. And down the front straightaway yet again is that number 9. Now about a 2.9 second lead. He's going to be able to continue to stretch it to try to make the gap even larger when he comes down pit road. Here's Cole Wilson currently running in 3rd. So guys, what does the fuel situation look like so far here with 17 to go?
I currently have 2 more laps of fuel left.
All right, so pit stops will be coming very, very shortly in the next lap or so. As Bryce Benton heads down here once again. And back up into the high banks for that number 9. Yeah, Cherry has just played the strategy perfectly so far tonight. Coming close to the halfway point here in Daytona. We have been caution-free so far. As Cherry has a 3.6 second lead over Bryce Benton, who currently runs in 2nd. There is Cole Wilson currently running in 3rd. Let's go through the field real quick. Maddox Beard currently running in 5th. There you got Cameron Chandler, an aggressive move back to the inside of Ashton Miller to take 7th place back away. Miller going to be having a run once again, as this is a good battle currently for P6 throughout P8.
No need to interrupt the battle, but we got Pace and Lindsay on the track like 15 laps down. This is going to be a safety hazard.
Oh my God.
I agree with Clausen.
To the outside. Big move for Cameron Chandler. He'll stay back in line, heading down into 1 and 2, trying to go around the outside. Not going to work. Once again, we got a car with damage. I don't even know who that is. So, anyways, once again, back to the outside here. Oh, as Cameron Chandler goes wide, he'll have Ashton Miller to his inside. Miller maybe going to get a 2 for 1 if he can get to Nathaniel Roberts. He cannot. But Miller not clear of Cameron Chandler just yet. Now he is. Good battle going on here for P6, as we should expect your leaders in this lap or so. So let's take a look at your leaders real quick. Sorry to interrupt that battle. So we got the 99 with damage on the front end, so he should be coming to pit road this time by to get rid of that thing. So Cherry pitting, your leader on pit road. Cannot speed, Gonna have to get down to that pit speed, of course. As Bryce Benson going to follow right behind him. He closed up a lot down the 1.3 about, so gotta wonder, did Benton speed or was just Cherry very slow on pit road? You got, of course, Cole Wilson back there. Matthew White slowly rolling to the pits. So should expect 4 fresh tires on everybody's car. And packet of fuel, and a great stop by Cherry. He'll be off
Richard
first.
spin!
Oh! Around he goes! This is crucial! And here comes Benton. He is going to take the lead as they're side by side off pit road. What a big moment in this race with 15 to go. Around off pit road goes Richard Cherry. All of his work he did on those primary tires gone as Bryce Benton takes the lead.
Tires are going to be really cold.
You got to be careful down in the International Horseshoe. They both go through it very nicely. Same thing with Wilson and same thing with the 3 of Matthew White. But a big moment in this one. Your new leader, once the whole pit cycle goes around, is going to be Bryce Benton.
Maddox Beard currently the only one that was able to stay out.
Not really sure how Beard is able to stretch the field that far. He's taking some big risks as there he is in the back straightaway, probably pitting this time, though. And Benton's starting to stretch the lead on Cherry. That is a huge moment and a huge mistake by Richard Cherry. He's going to be questioning why that happened off pit road. Just cold tires, going a little bit too aggressive, a little bit too excited on the throttle, caused that all to happen. So they're coming back to 14 to go this time by Bryce Benton, man. He has had such bad luck throughout all of his career in the NASCAR iRacing FedEx League. He has never won an official race. He's only ever won in lobbies. Can this be the night that he finally turns around his luck to possibly some good luck? And that was the start of some good luck for Bryce Benton. But Cherry's got to run down this front straightaway with 14 to go. Won't be able to make the move down into 1 and 2. He's not close enough. This is now the battle for the lead as they cycle through the pit stops. Also cycling back down pit road is Cameron Chandler. He had a bad pit stop from the looks of it. I believe he's still on pit road. I'm not really sure where he is. I don't even think he's on the track
I've
anymore.
like 6 slowdowns this race.
Benton's still feeling the pressure, though, as Cameron Chandler, I believe, has retired his number 8 race car. And he's gone to the garage. Tough night for him. Had an issue early on in the race. Really could never recover. Didn't have the speed up there. Didn't have good speed in qualifying or practice the battle with your leaders. But he will be back throughout Speedweeks. An excellent super speedway racer. Not especially an expert on these road courses, though.
Looks like we also had Ashton Miller get involved in a crash, and he's come down pit road. Looks like he might be out of this race because the front of his car is definitely torn up.
You can see the back wheels are also really out of alignment, I believe. The front end doesn't look bad at all. He must have, I don't know, he must have replaced the wing or something. But we got Cherry here on the bumper of Bryce Benton once again, trying to take the lead back away. He's going to the outside for the lead with 13 to go. Both on the primary tires. Who's late on the brakes? Down in the 1. Benton runs a wide. He will once again have the lead, but back to the inside is Cherry. They're side by side. He takes it. What a move by Richard Cherry. Bryce Benton goes wide, but now Cherry goes wide. Benton's there once again. They're side by side. Going door to door. Who is going to lift? It's going to be Benton. And Cherry will take the lead back away. Benton just needed an ounce more of brake, down in a 1, but he's still on the bumper of Cherry. Could possibly take it if he stays close down the front straightaway.
This is exactly what me and Matthew White are loving here in this battle, because we are starting to close up 5 seconds about from them, but it's going to be a lot of work to get back to them.
Yeah, White and Wilson, they have been very quick. They were top of the board throughout practice and qualifying, but what will happen is now Benton almost looks down to the inside, thinks better of it. He's going to keep it close, and let's see what kind of momentum that 9 car can get to try to take the lead back away from Richard Cherry. Is Benton close enough? 0.3 of a second, he's got to run. Down the front stretch they go. He pulls inside. A big block to the outside now, but now here comes Benton. He's got the preferred lane. Maybe a mistake by Cherry. Benton preferred lane into one. He's going to take the lead back away. Another probably crucial mistake by Richard Cherry there if he cannot get the lead back, but he's all over the back bumper of the number 9 once again. White and Wilson haven't really closed up so much. Wilson actually falling back to Matthew White. White is the one that's closing up to about 4 seconds now. 12 to go at Daytona for the IndyCar Series. It's been a fantastic battle throughout this race all day long between pretty much all these drivers. We've had great battles at the Daytona road course. This IndyCar here has performed really well. A good exit by Bryce Benton, stretching his lead even more, but now Cherry trying to get a toe to get closer and possibly have a chance to take the lead back down the front straightaway. Into the bus stop. Ooh, bit of a rough exit there by Bryce Benton. Cherry had a bit of a better one, and he'll have a run. He's a little further back than he would want to be. Down the front stretch they go yet again. I don't think Cherry's going to be able to get there. He might get him at the last second. If he's able to push, he's on his bumper. Maybe he's going to look outside. Will not get there. Needed about a couple feet more. Back into one they go. White is closed up to about 3.7 seconds, so we have 11 laps to go in Daytona. Great battle for the lead between Bryce Benton and Richard Cherry. Cherry back on the bumper, though, of Benton. This is going to be interesting to see. He's probably going to have a good run, but a really, really solid exit by Bryce Benton. He actually got loose off the last second, so he will lose a bit of time. And now with the toe, with that number 10 of Richard Cherry, is going to help him down this back straightaway. If he can keep it close, he should be able to possibly challenge for the lead down the front stretch. Benton doing everything he can to gain time through the chicane. He does a pretty decent job, but it probably will not be enough. Maybe it will be enough. A really good job by Bryce Benton to carry momentum. Cherry will have a run, as always, down the front stretch yet again. Riding along with Cherry in the 10. He's got momentum. Where's he going to take it? He'll go outside. Not close enough. 10 to go in Daytona. Cherry challenging to the bumper of the 9. These two have put on a crazy battle all day long so far tonight. Four-tenths of a second the gap once again as they head up into NASCAR 1 and 2. Can Cherry carry momentum through the Le Mans chicane better than Benton? He will do a pretty decent job at it, and he's going to be there. Here comes Cherry once again. He's on the bumper of Benton. Where's that 9 going to go? To the outside is Cherry for the lead in Daytona. Side by side down the front straightaway. Richard Cherry retakes the lead, but Benton's back to the inside. He'll have the preferred lane. Through 1 and 2. Cherry doing everything he can to keep it on the outside lane. Cannot do it. Bryce Benson gonna somehow hang on again. Oh, he's to his bumper. He's getting there, but a slide by Cherry. It is getting intense at the front of the field from Daytona. Down to 9 laps to go in the IndyCar Series race from the Daytona road course. Bryce Benson and Richard Cherry have been very, very quick all day long. Now Cherry about maybe 0.6 of a second. A good infield road course section by Bryce Benson to give him that gap. Matthew White kind of falling off as well. Cole Wilson, I'm not really sure what's happened to him. I believe he has had an issue just now. And I believe Cole Wilson is now on pit road, possibly in the garage. That is big from the driver of the 22 who started on pole. Not what he wanted to see. And it's all now probably down to these two. Oh, Matthew White goes around in the 3. And it's definitely going to be down to these two. Can Richard Cherry close the gap to Bryce Benson? Benson would love to go to victory lane to start off his Speedweeks in a great style. Ooh, bit of a slide there out of the 9. But he's still keeping good momentum, about 0.7 of a second for the lead. And of course, this battle all started off pit road where Richard Cherry had a bit of a spin, but now Cherry looking like he's closing the gap once again to about 0.4 of a second. If he can keep that up, which he definitely will, he will have momentum to try to take the lead back away. But is he too close? Is Benson going to be able to get back to the inside once he gets around him? Assuming he's not using push to pass, trying to also conserve it. He is going outside this time by, going to stay in line smartly, and now he'll go outside again. Will be enough, though. Hard on the brakes in 1. It will not be enough. Benson nearly goes wide. Cherry going to have to stay behind again. 7 to go in Daytona. Cherry on his bumper. Through the International Horseshoe they go yet again. Great battle for the lead in Daytona between the 9 of Bryce Benson and the 10 of Richard Cherry. They've been the class of the field in this second half. Remember, Cherry, though, he's had a interesting race so far. Of course, started somewhere, I think, about 5th place. Fell back early on in the race to about 7th. And then, of course, on those black primary tires, had the long run pace, was able to drive through the field and take the lead from the drivers on the option reds. Then had the spin off pit road, and now is battling with Bryce Benson for the lead. Late in the race here in Daytona. And he's got to run once again. Will he be smart with it? Let's see. He'll pull outside now for the lead. Can he clear Bryce Benson? They're door to door, heading down the front straightaway. He's almost there, side by side into 1. He's still there, Cherry on the outside, but Benson once again able to clear him. A big bubble for Richard Cherry. As laps go on, the opportunities start to fade for the 10 of Cherry. He is oh so close to getting clear, just needs that ounce more of speed. And now that's a big gap from Cherry to Benson as Cherry tries to recover to cool down his tires possibly. Benton just looking to make no mistakes in these final 5.5 laps. It has been a fantastic first race of Speedweeks so far tonight in Daytona. We've severely enjoyed this one. And it's not over yet. Gap to about 7/10, maybe even 8/10. Benton putting in good lap times, but Cherry's going to have momentum and try to clear. Don't think he's going to be able to get to the outside yet. But he'll have good momentum. Just try to get there on the 9. Down into one they go once again. Gap about half a second. Just gotta hope for Benton not to make a mistake, because for him, at least, Cherry is going to be right on his tail if he does so. Cherry didn't really take advantage of the run he got down that front straightaway, so he is going to be back now about 8/10 of a second as he starts to fade just a bit. Maybe push too hard on those tires. That allowed Benton now to have the advantage with 5 laps to go in Daytona. It's not over yet, though. Anything could happen. Into the bus stop they go once again. Pretty good bus stop by Richard Cherry, back to about 5/10 as they head down through NASCAR 3 and 4. Momentum coming. He's going to be there. He's to the outside. Can't get there. Not enough time for the 10 of Cherry. 4 laps to go. Over the curb a bit for Bryce Benton. He feels the pressure. Cherry is there. He's on his bumper. And this was a better lap for Richard Cherry than Bryce Benton. Can he do even better this lap time by? Just needed maybe a couple laps to cool down his tires, get back into the rhythm, and he is once again there. Benton feels the pressure. Mistakes could be coming. Back up into the high banks they go once again. It's about 6/10, so Bryce was able to maybe gain a couple of tenths through the infield road course. 3.5 laps to go in Daytona. Bryce Benton, of course, had that heartbreak at the Monza Oval during the clash. Looking for redemption tonight with IndyCars at Daytona, but Cherry is there to about 0.2 of a second again. He's going to pull outside. They're side by side. Who's harder in the push to pass? 3 to go. Cherry doing everything he can. They head down into 1 and 2 once again. He's to the outside. Benton pushes him wide. Will retake the lead again in Daytona. Cherry, though, he'll send it to the inside for the lead in the International Horseshoe. They make contact. Cherry's going to take it. Benton, though, once again to the inside. Not give it up. Who's going to lift? It'll be Cherry almost lifting. Nobody lifts. Side by side once again. Cherry goes to the inside. Another crossover move. He will clear Benton. But the 9's on his bumper. He'll be charging once again. He needs to try to get a run down this back straightaway if he wants a chance out of the chicane. 2.5 laps to go in Daytona. We got a battle for the win between Richard Cherry and Bryce Benton. Benton aggressively to the inside. Can't get there. He'll stay all over his bumper. Cherry trying to maybe pull a gap. He had a great run out of the chicane. That is not what Bryce Benton needed to see. Coming to 2 to go this time by. What an aggressive move that needed to happen with Cherry into the International Horseshoe, but here comes Benton. He will pull outside. But like Cherry was stuck with so many times, he won't be able to get there. He pulls inside, can't get there again, trying to go the long way around. Maybe have run off the corner. Let's see what kind of momentum he can pull down in the International Horseshoe. Will he reclaim what Cherry did to him? He'll go around the outside, trying to send it in deep. Cherry blocks, crossover coming, maybe not going to be able to happen. 2 laps to go in Daytona. Cherry trying to hold him off. Oh, he goes wide. He blocks. Into the corner they go yet again. Benton on his bumper. He pulls outside once more. Remember, if these two get together, Matthew White back there waiting in the wings to about 5 seconds back, and he's been running very quick lap times. Momentum's going to be there on Benton. He'll pull outside for the lead. He's going to try to shake it in the chicane. They're side by side. Who's going to lift? Neither of them do. Benton does it. He takes the lead back away. What a move. Cherry back to the outside. They're side by side through 3 and 4 with 2 to go. Trying to side draft. Door to door. Cherry takes it back. What a run back around the outside as they're going to see the white flag this time by. Time to send them off in Daytona. Final laps underway. Now it's about a 2/10 lead for Richard Cherry in the one in the final lap. Benton, he isn't close enough to try to make a move. Down into the International Horseshoe they go. Cherry looked decent, Benton looked better. Down this road course back straight away for the final time. Through the kink. Ooh, bit of a bobble there by the 27. And now Benton trying to send it back inside in the 9. He's got to try to keep it close. He's on his bumper once again. Final time through NASCAR 1 and 2. What momentum is the 9 going to be able to get? Last time around, he made a hugely aggressive move to get around Cherry. In the end, it did not pay off. He'll have momentum heading down the back straightaway. He's there. He's to the outside once again. They're side by side. Cherry covers him off. Bryce is going to have one more shot at it. He's going to do everything he can. Here we go to finish him off in Daytona. Benton to the outside. They are side by side for the win. Benton's there. Cherry's to the inside. Here they come. He's going to do it. Bryce Benton somehow takes the lead in the final lap. He's going to win in Daytona. What a finish. Unbelievable. Unreal. Wow. What a finish. Bryce Benton took it around the outside in the final lap. Whew. And he scores the victory. It was a hard fought win for the number 9 of Bryce Benton. He takes the checkered flag first. He wins in Daytona. Richard Cherry comes home second after a very hard fought effort. Redemption after the clash for Bryce Benton. Came oh so close there after leading so many laps. Leads a bunch of laps tonight. He will take the checkered flag first. Your winner of the IndyCar Series Daytona Road Course race is Bryce Benton in a near photo finish. What a move he made around the outside. We'll have post-race coverage coming up. And what a race it was. first of all, real quick, take a look how he did it around the outside. What an aggressive move it was. They were all going for it on the final lap. So, of course, here we go through NASCAR 3 and 4 on the final time. He got a run. He went to the outside. They're side by side here on the final lap. He had a bit of a blinking issue. Cherry, I thought he was going to be able to side draft him. He was not able to. Benton was able to clear him, and he had the lead and just had enough at the checkered flag to take the victory. And Brent Benton obviously now ran out of fuel, so he's not going to be able to do a burnout, unfortunately for him.
Yeah, I mean, right when I passed the finish line, I ran out of fuel too, and I pitted a lap earlier than all of them, so I had to do a little bit of saving there.
Yeah, that was very, very talented showing by all these drivers. We all had all that insane racing, and then of course we had the battle for the lead, and then the fuel saving. Let's take a look how Benton did it. Backed off through the chicane, and just watched the momentum carry him. Was on, pushed the pass, saved it to the end. Went to the outside. Cherry was also, that was not Cherry. Sorry about that. Oh, okay, we messed that up. Apologies. Try that again. So Cherry, this is the big issue for Cherry. I don't think he had any push the pass left. As you can see, he is not on push the pass. Benton obviously was. He was able to easily cruise around the outside and score the victory. Bryce Benton, the winner in Daytona. Saved it to the end, and it ended up paying off for the driver of the 9. 1-8 showing from Daytona. We'll have post-race interviews coming up. And he was able to take the victory. What an amazing race, though, to start off Speedweeks. Absolutely phenomenal. We hope you enjoyed. And let's head to post-race interviews from Daytona, starting off with your winner, Bryce Benton in the 9. Bryce Benton, unbelievable finish there. You finally are able to get some good luck and take a victory here in Speedweeks. An insane battle with Richard Cherry. Take me through those final laps, and what a battle it was for you, able to take the lead on the final lap and ultimately score the win.
Yeah, I was just trying to keep the lead until the final lap, but Cherry was able to get around me with like 3 laps to go, so I stayed behind. I was trying to find a way around so I could go back to just maintain that gap at the front, but I couldn't find the way around. So on the final lap, I decided I was just gonna wait it out until after the chicane. I saved up my push to pass just enough to be able to use it all the way to the line, and I was able to get around Cheery and get the win. That was a really intense battle, but I'm really happy that I won that.
So fuel was obviously really close there at the end of the race. So what was it like trying to fuel save and also battle for the win there at the same time?
Yeah, I had just enough fuel to not be able to, or to not need to fuel save, thankfully. But I did run out of fuel on the cooldown lap. I was gonna do burnouts, but I ran out of fuel. I should have just probably done it in like turn 1 after the checkered flag, but whatever. But yeah, I just had enough. I just had just enough fuel to be able to not fuel save, and yeah, I think Cheery also did.
All right, final question here. Is this win going to give you any sort of momentum heading into the rest of the races? Of course, ARCA, Trucks, Xfinity, and then, of course, the Cup Series, Daytona 500.
Definitely, but obviously it's a different style of racing, so we'll have to see. That's more about luck than this was. Yeah, I knew I'd be able to win. I'd have a chance to win this one because yeah, I knew this could be like my best shot because obviously I do road racing in real life, so it's kind of up my alley. But yeah, I think definitely it gives us some momentum, but we'll have to see in the coming days and see if we can win any.
All right, well, huge congratulations on the victory here tonight from the Daytona Road Course in the IndyCar Series. Have fun celebrating, and we'll see you tomorrow night for the on-track action with Xfinity final practice and then, of course, the ARCA race.
Yep.
All right, so coming up next is going to be your second-place finisher, Richard Cherry. Richard Cherry, a hard-fought battle here to come home P2. A crazy race. Of course, unfortunately, you guys had that mistake coming out of pit road that spun you guys around, that kind of put you in this position. But what was it like battling there for the win? And just it looked like you couldn't do anything there with Benton going to your outside with you having no push to pass left.
As soon as I saw Bryce just going to the outside, so I knew I had lost. Congratulations to him. Great battle. Hope everyone enjoyed it, but just kind of feel happy choking race after race. I mean, if I cannot win Daytona road course, I'm not gonna win shit.
All right, so what other races are we gonna see you upcoming here in Speedweeks?
Probably Xfinity. Well, Xfinity, if I don't have anything for that night for sure, because I'm full time. So, and then Cup. I don't know if Cup, but Xfinity probably. And yeah, I'm gonna be commentating Arca tomorrow. So.
All right, well, still nice job on the battle here, coming on P2 in an intense battle with Bryce Benton. We'll see you with Connor Asbell in the ARCA series booth tomorrow night with you guys, your two-man booth, and we'll see you then for the on-track action tomorrow.
All right, thank you.
Next up, coming up, is going to be Maddox Beard. So Maddox Beard, a pretty decent finish for you guys. It's going to be P4 here at the Daytona Road Course. So you guys played it pretty smart all day long. Just take me through your strategy there. Starting on the black tires early on, the primary tires, and not going to the option tires early on, and how that helped you.
Yeah, well, I meant to start on the alternate tires, but I forgot to put on I forgot to put them on before I went into the car. So I was kind of mad that I started on the primaries, but it actually worked out in the end. Yeah, I felt actually pretty fast at the start, but yeah, I passed a couple cars in the dash and a few others. But yeah, I got up to P4 and then I pitted a lap later than everybody else, which I thought would have helped me, but it really didn't. But yeah, I'm happy for Bryce. He finally got a win in like an official race. But yeah.
All right, so going on to your Xfinity Series action, then I'll be happening in a couple of nights' time, Friday night. We've got final practice for the Xfinity Series tomorrow night, but what can we expect from you guys in your number 8 Team Chevy Motor Club Chevrolet for Friday night in Xfinity?
Yeah, like I said a couple of nights ago, it felt really good in practice. I think if I can get some teammate help and get some good drafts, and just stay out of trouble, I think I can definitely go and win that race. And I'm just looking to have a really good season, try to go for a championship.
All right. Well, still nice job here on the top 5 finish at Daytona, and we will see you tomorrow night for Xfinity final practice and then the ARCA race.
Yeah, thank you.
Coming up next is going to be Cole Clausen, final interview of the night. Cole Clausen, you guys come home in P6, so a decent day all around. You were able to take advantage of some things and come home with a nice top 10 finish, so taking throughout your night in these final laps, also trying to save fuel.
Yeah, definitely a really fun race. I mean, we never really had the speed to run up front, unfortunately. Yeah, I don't really know what happened. I guess we're just slow, kind of, and probably should have started on the blacks instead of the reds. So, but I guess everyone made the wrong decision, basically, except for Richard. But yeah, just amazing finish there between Bryce and Richard. I mean, they did some amazing driving there. I mean, just absolutely terrific. You know, Bryce Benton, he's a really underrated driver. I mean, despite what happened at Talladega a couple of seasons ago, but we won't talk about that. But yeah, just a terrific race from everyone. I was able to gain a few positions there in the second half of that race because some drivers crashed, but yeah, overall pretty fun race, and I can't wait for the next 4 races we have coming up here in Speedweeks.
All right, so what do we expect to see from you throughout these next 4 races? Of course, they're all super speedway events. You guys have been pretty good at those in the past, so what do we think you could do? You guys think you could maybe pull out a win?
I mean, I think we can, but we just gotta stay out of trouble, man, and that's just gonna be the route that we're taking all week and long, is just stay out of trouble. We were able to do it in the IndyCar race here, and hopefully we can continue it, and hopefully we can get McMillan and Fish to show up for some races here. It'd be pretty fun to have them as some teammates to help us get to a win here in these super speedway races. But yeah, gonna be a lot of fun.
All right, well, nice job here on the top 10 finish at the Daytona Road Course, and a great showing for you guys in this IndyCar series, and we'll see you tomorrow night for the on-track action for Xfinity Final Practice, and then, of course, the ARCA race.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
And that'll do it here tonight. A fantastic race for the IndyCar series in Daytona. We hope you enjoyed that. IndyCar series, definitely after that showing, is a great opportunity to return. So that'll wrap up Speedweeks events for Wednesday night. A great night of action. I really thoroughly enjoyed that one, and I hope a lot of you guys did as well, especially this IndyCar race at Daytona. Fantastic. Congratulations to Bryce Benson on the victory. And we'll be back tomorrow night for, of course, Xfinity Final Practice starting at 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time. And then the ARCA race with Connor Asbel and Richard Cherry leading the booth on the channel at 9 p.m. Eastern Time at the Daytona International Speedway. So we will see you tomorrow night. Good night from Daytona. The second night of Daytona Speedweek is officially over. We will see you tomorrow night on Thursday.